Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me in this video. We're going to be doing prediction for each zodiac sign for the month of April 2020, and I've included the timestamps down below so you can click directly on your sign and watch the video. However, please subscribe and hit the notification button because the next video I'm going to be doing is going to be how to find your soul purpose in this lifetime according to astrology. And overall, I would like to say that this month of April is going to be an amazing month for the majority of us. We're going to be filled with optimism, a lot of energy since we're in the ARIES season. And the sun will be in ARIES for the majority of the month. And also the career scene is going to be very highlighted for a lot of us. So overall, really good energy. But let's dive in and see what's specifically there for each one of us. And so for Aries, I think the overall theme is optimism, high energy, new ideas, new goals. Since the sun and the Mercury are in your first house in Aries, you're going to be for the majority of the month, you're going to be really focused on yourself and what new ideas can you come up with. Some of you may be really focused on building your image, literally your physical body, changing your physical image. Some of you might be focused on changing your image in a way of what new ideas can I come up with and how can I do better in life. But overall, very good vitality and high energy. Also, really amazing aspect is that Pluto aligns with Jupiter. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of growth, and Pluto is learning lessons. And when they both align, is a really major expansion, and they're going to be placed in your 10th house of career. So very good things in the scene of the career are coming, and no wonder with all your focus on developing new ideas, setting new goals, with Jupiter and Pluto in your 10th house of career, that's amazing. Around the 7th of April, we also have the full moon, which will be in your 7th house in Libra, which is usually the relationship placement. So full moons are always associated with endings and new beginnings. So there will be some changes in your relationship scene. Some things may end, or some breakthroughs maybe are possible, maybe closing chapters with a mindset in relationships or actual relationships. That's going to be different for everybody, but expect some changes in that area. And so towards the end of April, around the last week of April, we have some challenging aspects with Saturn there, which may place a little worry in the scene of finances and income. However, do not be afraid, because then we have the new moon coming directly after that, which is a new moon in Taurus. And that's going to bring a new alignment of the planets. First of all, it's going to be a new beginning. And second of all, it's going to bring this new alignment of planets that is going to bring unexpected financial gains, unexpected opportunities in the scene of material gains, offers, career, business. So it's all good. Hi Taurus, and so the theme for April for you is visibility, because we have beginning of April, Venus, your ruler, which is the planet of love, money and creativity, entering your first house in your sign. And the first house is related to yourself, your self-image. And with Venus in your first house, we can see how you may be able to attract more attention to yourself, more visibility to yourself. So you can easily use this time for more exposure, things like social media, photo shoots, magazines, that kind of social exposure. And so the second half of April, we have the sun entering in Taurus, which is going to bring a lot more energy, vitality, optimism, and setting new goals. And then we have the new moon happening around the 22nd or the 23rd, also in Taurus, which is going to set new beginnings for you. This may also activate the directly opposite house of you, which is the house of relationships. So with the new moon directly opposite the 7th house, we may have a beginning of a new relationship as well. We also have Mars, which is going to be in your 10th house throughout the whole of the month, which is directly related to your career. So with Venus in the beginning, entering your space your first house, being able to attract more, being attractive yourself, and Mars in your 10th house of career. I think this is a very, very good time for visibility in general and having a great career opportunities. Hi Gemini, and so the theme for April for you, I personally think it will be finding a new soul purpose, finding your new deeper desires, releasing old patterns, releasing things that don't serve you anymore. And this is all because of the new moon on the 22nd that falls in your 12th house, which I think is going to make you release those old things that you don't need anymore and really seek deeper into your soul. What are your desires now? But let's begin from the beginning. In the beginning of the month, we have Venus, which enters your first house. It's going to bring the focus on you. You're going to be attracting a lot more attention on yourself. You're going to have more visibility, and you're going to probably focus more on what do I need, what do I like, what do I desire. So it's going to be a lot of focus on yourself. Also, every time we have Venus in one house, it activates the opposite house. So with Venus being in your first house, would automatically activate the completely opposite house, which is the 7th house. And although we don't have any planets there, it's highly likely that you may actually attract somebody new into your life. The 7th house is the house of relationships. So it's a good time to attract. And with the full moon on the 8th of the month, which is in your 5th house of romance, I think this is going to bring some changes there as well. We know that full moons are about ending cycles and beginning new cycles, and with this being in your romance house, is highly likely to have changes there as well. And around the 12th, we have Mercury that joins the Sun in your 11th house. And 11th house is the house of socializing, meeting other people, meeting new people, being very socially active in general. And with the Sun being there, that's a very, very highlighted area. So as I said, having a lot of visibility on yourself, being very social this month, and with the new moon happening on the 22nd in your 12th house, you're probably going to be thinking about what do I actually need and what do I actually desire, sinking deeper into those thoughts and finding new soul purpose. Hi Cancer, and so the theme for April for you, I think, is reconnecting with yourself and your truest desire, making peace. Because first of all, we see Venus entering on the 4th of April your 12th house. 12th house is the one associated with a deeper intuition, with dreamlike states, receiving messages through your dreams, also revisiting past experiences, maybe revisiting an old relationship, whether through your dreams or in reality, revisiting an old connection with a family member, and mostly about probably making peace with this, releasing it from your unconscious, or reconciling with it. I leave the choice to you. On the 8th, we have the full moon in the 4th house. The 4th house is related to home. So full moon, we know, is related to ending cycles, completing cycles, and beginning new cycles. So in relation to your home, maybe there will be changes. Maybe you'll change your home. Maybe you'll change the situation at home. Maybe you'll start working from home, or something in relation to a family member, somebody you live with. Then on the 12th, we have the Sun and Mercury aligning together in your 10th house. The 10th house is associated with career, with exposure, being more visible, communicating more in the career scene. So Mercury is what you're thinking about, and the Sun obviously gives you a lot of energy to act on your goals, to act on your desires. So it's a very good time for career. Then around the 22nd, we have the new moon in your 11th house. 11th house is in relation to social circles, to communicating with a lot of people, being social, also thinking about humanity in a larger scale. How can I contribute to humanity? in relation to technology, maybe you will be communicating through internet and online a lot. Maybe you'll be socializing online a lot. Overall, throughout the whole month, we have Jupiter and Pluto in your 7th house. 7th house is the house of relationships. Jupiter and Pluto are this very big expansive energy, very powerful and abundant energy. So maybe you will be attracting somebody very powerful, somebody very influential. That doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be partnership in a business career. But overall, I think this month is really going to bring more peace in terms of completing old cycles, making peace with something old, and beginning new chapters in your life. And as we see, your career is very highlighted, your social life is very highlighted, and your exposure as well. So very good month for you, Cancer. Hi Leo, and so for you the theme for April I think is communication, negotiation, and moving your career further. Because as we see, on the 4th of April, Venus enters your 11th house. The 11th house is associated with social circles, communicating with a lot of people, having more exposure, your dreams, your wishes, maybe making new friends as well. Then on the 8th, we have the full moon in your 3rd house of communication. So it's a very good time. As we know, full moons are associated with completion of cycles and beginning new cycles, ending chapters, beginning new chapters. So it's a very good time for negotiation, having a very open conversation and communication about things you want. So it's very possible that changes maybe in your relationships or in your career will be negotiated and communicated, and you will experience some changes in these areas. On the 12th, we have Mercury and the Sun aligning in your 9th house. 9th house of spiritual growth, learning, expanding knowledge. So it's a very good time for you to begin maybe adding more to your spiritual growth and spiritual knowledge, or maybe beginning to learn something new in this area. Around the 22nd, we have the new moon happening in your 10th house. 10th house is the house of career. So new moon, as you know, is the beginning of a new chapter, setting new goals. So it's a very good time for you to probably experience some changes in your career. Maybe you will start your own business, maybe you will get a new job offer, or maybe you will be promoted in your current job. Just generally very related to career and beginning something new in the career scene. And then we also have Mars in your 7th house of relationships. So with Mars in the 7th house, it's very possible that you might happen to meet somebody new in terms of relationships, or if you have an existing relationship, my advice here is take it easy, because Mars is a very aggressive energy. So sometimes we can go ego head on, and we might come across a little too aggressive, my way or no way. So be careful with this energy a little bit, and just be a little more mellow, probably, if we're talking about an existing relationship. Hi Virgo, so the theme of this month for you is predominantly money, career, whether you like what you're doing, whether you need to make some changes in what you're doing. It's more about finding a real quest for passion and what it is that you really like to do. And so at the beginning of the month, on the 4th, we have Venus that enters your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career. And Venus is this planet that is in relation to love, harmony, beautiful things, money, attraction. So I think you're going to be more thinking about whether what you're doing is really the thing you love, or if you're not doing this, maybe you should ask yourself, do I really like doing this? Is this really what I need to do? And look at those things. And if you need to make any changes, I think it's a good time for you. On the 8th, we have the full moon in your 2nd house of income, of material things, of money. And so I think you may receive some very good income or offers in relation to income, since we know that the full moon is completion of cycles, beginning of new cycles. So maybe something new will come, something exciting in relation to work, a career, money. Basically, I think it's going to be an income. And then later on in the month, on the 12th, we have Mercury and the Sun in your 8th house, which is in relation to other people's money. So maybe you will be dealing with loans, or if you have taxes that you haven't done, all those things in relation to money, but not your money, other people's money. I think you should focus on this and clear if anything needs to be cleared. And maybe you would be receiving exciting offers for partnership with somebody, and you're just going to receive the income you've been waiting for. And then around the 23rd, we have the new moon in your 9th house. 9th house is associated with learning, expanding, spiritual growth. So I think this new moon as a new beginning is going to set the tone for probably looking for a new quest for passion, or maybe something new you want to begin, or maybe you would like to expand your spiritual growth, spiritual knowledge. But in general, with all the other aspects associating income and money and career changes, I think overall this month you're really going to be looking at whether you love what it is you're doing and whether you can expand in some other area or even the same area. So very good month for you, Virgo. Hi Libra. So for this month, the theme for you is definitely romance and love. We have so many planetary locations in your romance and love houses, beginning with the 4th of the month when Venus goes into your 5th house. And we know that Venus is the planet of love, beautiful things, harmony, attraction, also money as well. It enters the 5th house, which is the house of romance. So you most likely going to meet somebody, somebody maybe who is even overseas, or if you already have a partner, maybe that's in relation to beginning a new business, being more creative with the business you want, maybe becoming self-employed. And then on the 8th, we have the full moon in the 1st house, which is the house of Libra. So that's very important for you, I think. Full moon is always associated with ending old cycles and beginning new cycles. So I think you're really going to be focused on yourself and looking at yourself and whether what are you already doing and the way you are is serving you at the moment. Later on the 12th, we have Mercury and the Sun in your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of relationships. And with the Sun and Mercury, that's definitely something that is whatever is in your mind and whatever you want to act on. So definitely 7th house with relationships, you're either going to be meeting somebody new or you're going to take a relationship to another level now, probably just like giving into love already, if you've already been with somebody and the things are not deep yet. Now with the new moon on the 23rd coming into your 8th house, which can mean deepening a relationship, but also it can mean dealing with other people's money, like loans, taxes, receiving a partnership, financial partnership for beginning a business. So for those of you who are dealing in a romantic level, probably a relationship deepening, and for those of you who are deciding to start a business, you may receive some sort of partnership and help from somebody else. It's a good time to deal with all your loans and taxes or mortgages. If you owe money to somebody, it's a really good time to complete this as well. And overall, Mars will be in your 5th house of romance the whole time. So it's a very good time as well to have fun, just be more light, be more youthful, find things that make you feel youthful and happy and fun. It's a very good action-oriented energy towards romantic experiences. Hi Scorpio, and the theme for you this month, definitely I see that is in a way getting centered within yourself, finding peace within yourself, and definitely there's an aspect of deepening a love connection. So beginning with the 4th of the month, when Venus enters your 8th house, which is usually associated with deepening a relationship, deepening a connection with somebody, but also it can be in relationship to dealing with other people's money, like loans, taxes, mortgages, taking receiving a partnership, financial partnership with somebody. So if you're dealing with business, you would definitely be happy because you're going to receive some sort of support in the quest of your business. Or if you're dealing with relationships, maybe you're deepening a connection over there. And if you owe money to someone, it's a really good time to deal with clearing all this at the moment. Then later on we have the full moon in your 12th house. So the 12th house is associated with the deep intuition, with the unconscious. And the full moon is completion of cycles, beginning new cycles. So it's a really good time for you, I think, to go deep inside and take this time for yourself. If you haven't been taking this time for yourself, if you have been putting things on the side, things that you didn't want to deal with in the past, it's a really good time right now to deal with those things. Go deep within and just deal with those old patterns and old things that you haven't been really dealing with, so we can leave them in the past now and begin a completely new cycle. Later on the 12th, we have Mercury and the Sun in your 6th house. And the 6th house is associated with health. So pay attention on whether you've been overdoing something or you haven't been doing something enough in relationship to your well-being, to your health. Maybe you need to create a new healthy routine, new healthy habits, new exercise, or maybe you've been doing this way too much and you need to take a step back a little bit in order for your body to recover. Just pay attention on that. Then on the 23rd, we have the new moon in your 7th house. So the new moon is beginning a completely new cycle, and the 7th house is definitely your relationship house. So I feel for some of you, you're going to be maybe meeting somebody completely new, or for those of you who have been with someone so far and maybe things haven't been that deep yet, things will deepen now, and this relationship will kind of progress in a deep level. And overall, through the whole month, Mars will be in your 4th house, the house of home. So probably it's a good time to make any changes in your home. Maybe some changes will happen. Maybe you would like to move somewhere else, or maybe people you have been living with will change. Maybe if you haven't been living with anyone now, somebody will move in with you, or you would like to make a renovation in your space. Just some changes in relation to your home. And because Mars is a very action-oriented energy, you'll definitely take some actions, or maybe you'll host a lot of family, you'll host a lot of close people, but overall great month for you, Scorpio. Hi Sagittarius. So the theme for this month for you is definitely relationships with people in general. With on the 4th of the month, we have Venus entering your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of relationships, and this is the best location for Venus because Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, attraction, and being in its own house, the 7th house of Libra. Since Venus rules Libra, is the best location that it can possibly be in. And for you, that means that maybe you will meet somebody new, or if you already have been with somebody, maybe this connection will deepen, and maybe you're just gonna feel very peaceful and very harmonious, and everything is gonna be just beautiful, and you're just gonna feel just very good. And then later on, we have the full moon in your 11th house. 11th house is the house of friendships, relationships with other people. So maybe you will need to, and full moon is considered ending cycles, beginning new cycles. So maybe you will be looking at friendships. Do I really need to carry on this friendship? Is this friendship deep enough? Or just like paying attention on your relationships with people in general. And maybe you need to expect some changes there. Towards the middle of the month, we have the Sun and the Mercury in your 5th house, and that's the house of romance as well, but also is the house of business. So maybe you will be starting some new business, or maybe you will be coming up with a new product, selling something, maybe advertising something new, or maybe you would just look at what other skills can I incorporate in what I'm trying to do. And then in the end, we have the new moon on the 23rd in your 6th house of health. So pay attention. It's a new cycle. So pay attention on what new routines do you need to incorporate in your well-being and in your health. Do you need to change your diet, exercise more, exercise less if you've been doing something extra, or if you haven't been doing something enough, probably you need to make some changes there, because it's a completely new cycle. So that's going to carry on for another 4 weeks at least. Hi Capricorn, so the theme for this month for you, I think, is definitely looking at yourself and your well-being from all angles. Whether that's going to be your health or your relationship with family and friends, is definitely going to be paying attention on yourself and how can you improve your internal and external situation for sure. So starting with the 4th of the month, when Venus enters your 6th house, which is the house of health. So maybe looking at your health. Have you been taking enough rest? Have you been exercising enough? Have you been eating well? So whatever you have been overdoing or underdoing, maybe you need to make an adjustment in that, in order for you to feel more harmonious, because Venus is the planet of love, harmony, beauty, and just overall peaceful feelings. Is definitely telling you that you need to take time to reconsider and make adjustments for yourself so you feel better. That might even mean just appreciating your body, just appreciating your hands, appreciating your feet, just being really in your body and appreciating every little part of your body and of yourself. Later on, we have the full moon on the 8th in your 10th house. 10th house of being public, communicating with other people, your career as well. So full moon is always in relation to completing cycles, beginning new cycles. Maybe there would be some changes in your career scene. Maybe you would be presented with more opportunities to go online, to be more visible, to be communicating with more people and be more influential in general. Towards the middle of the month, we have the Sun and Mercury in your 4th house of home. So that is just doing more homey things, maybe hosting friends and family, maybe taking them for dinner, maybe cooking dinner for them, maybe making some changes in your home environment, just paying more attention to your home environment and making some nice changes there. On the 23rd, we have the new moon, which is a new beginning in your 5th house. The 5th house is in relation to romance, but also business. So maybe some of you will be experiencing some amazing romantic experiences, and others of you maybe will be thinking of beginning a new business, being presented with new business opportunities, creating a new product, being very creative in general, finding ways to sell your product better, and just in general being more business oriented and maybe self-employed. And with your Mars being in your 2nd house throughout the whole month, which is the house of income, that's a no surprise for sure. So Mars in the 2nd house throughout the month just encourages you to go out there and not wait for the opportunities, but find them, create them for yourself. What can I make to sell myself better? What can I make to attract more business, to make more money? So it's a very encouraging and very supportive energy for this amazing month for you, Capricorn. Hi Aquarius, so the theme for this month for you, I feel, is expansion. We have Venus, the planet of love, harmony, beautiful feelings, beauty in general, and peace, entering your 5th house. So the 5th house is related to romance, but also to business, creative ideas, starting new projects. So that is a very encouraging time for you, very good time for you to probably think of what other ways can you, what other skills can you use in your business? What other of your knowledge can you use? What can you create? Maybe creating a new product, maybe thinking of a new business idea and beginning a new business idea. With the full moon on the 8th, which is in your 9th house. 9th house is associated with expansion, growth, learning, spiritual growth. So maybe that's encouraging you to actually add to your skills, what you already have, or maybe starting a completely new skill with the full moon, completing cycles and beginning new cycles, maybe it's time for you to look at what else is interesting you, so you can begin to learn something new or deepen your spiritual growth, turning more to spirituality as well. Then around the 12th of the month, we have Mercury and the Sun entering your third house. Third house of communication, socializing, creating a new craft maybe, or maybe just negotiating in terms of business, any sort of communication. And in the end of the month, we have the new moon in your fourth house, the house of home. So new moon is always beginning of new cycles, beginning something new. And with it being in the fourth house, that's encouraging you to make maybe changes in your home. Maybe you'll be thinking about moving, maybe you would want to relocate. Maybe it's just about making changes in the house. Maybe you will have changes within the people that live in your house, or maybe you just want to beautify your house, and maybe you'll be hosting more family and friends, and you'll just be socializing more with people that you love. All around doing homey things basically. Hi Pisces, so the theme for you in April, I think, is being energetic and also being very creative and making money. So I think it's a very good month for you. But let's start from the beginning of the month. On the 4th, Venus enters your fourth house, the fourth house of home. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, peace, and being in your home house, that probably means that you need to make some beautifying around your home. Maybe get some plants, just make your surrounding feel better for you. So when you're home, you feel more at peace. Later on the 8th, we have the full moon in your 8th house. And 8th house is a house associated with other people's money usually, or partnerships, financial partnerships. So full moon being ending of cycles and beginning new cycles, maybe you haven't presented the opportunity to get a financial partnership in something, or maybe that's just a good time for you to clear any loans, any mortgages, any money that you may be owing. Towards the middle of the month, we have the Sun and Mercury entering your second house of making money. So Sun and Mercury is a very energetic energy. So it's a very supportive energy for you to actually get out there, find the opportunities, make money, maybe create a new product, maybe find new ways to sell your product, maybe finding ways to get new clients, or just selling yourself better, getting more business and making more money in general. And throughout the whole month, we have Mars in your 12th house. So definitely this is not a time to take rest. Get out there, energize, exercise, do active things. But that is not to mean that you need to avoid your emotions. Accept your emotions, listen to your emotions, but at the same time, be active. So overall, really good month for you, Pisces.